Back for another Wi-Fi podcast. We missed one last week,
Yeah,
but we got a lot of stuff to talk about. But first of all, I ordered a Rivian. I put the picture up, man. Nice gray color.
you did put the picture up?
Yeah, I put it up. You have to wait to see that. Um,
Yeah.
but I just put in a reservation. It'll probably take 2 years if maybe to get one, but I think even though this thing's expensive, I got the cheapest possible one. I put the reservation in for, and it'll qualify for the tax rebate. So in 2 years, I just
You
won't
know,
buy
we're
any more
saying in two
cars.
years, like, where's that tax rebate going to be?
It
You,
could
you
be
think it's going to be
more.
higher?
It could be higher in 2 years. So yeah, I mean, I want to lock that baby in. I got the dark gray color.
How many gray cars do you have now?
Right now I've got 3 gray cars.
Maybe you should think about another color.
No, it's working for me. I'm sticking with gray.
Yeah, but we're talking about like the average cost of cars now is
Oh, yeah,
pretty insane with EVs being like, becoming more and more the only options to go with.
yeah,
I don't know if that's how you think. I feel like in California, my only option is to go EV and not there's no other options. Like I've seen reviews on other cars, that burn gas or whatever, which
uh-huh.
are really cool. But when you start looking at like, I look for performance, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time. And when you start looking at the performance numbers, it's like, well, why wouldn't I just buy this EV that's like going to destroy pretty much
Yeah, it smokes
everything?
everything. And once we both have had them, so we know how easy it is to do, how easy it is
Yeah,
to daily it and drive it and road trip it.
yeah.
So there's no reason to buy a gas car other than a sports car maybe. Other
Yeah,
than
but
that, I don't see
even
it.
that's really tough too, you know?
Well, it is. I
What
mean,
sports car are you gonna buy?
Corvette.
The Z06 though,
Yeah, no,
right?
I'm gonna hold off on that. I want to see what the pricing's. But yeah, it's gonna have to be it. Even the
Your
sports.
truck is gonna be faster than the Z06.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's not. The the sports cars have to step it up, right? So even the mid-engine Corvette,
Yeah,
it's still like one of the fastest cars out there. But the EVs are like, the Plaid is faster, right? Like,
yeah,
but they can still step it up where it's going to be competitive and the handling, everything's really good. Um,
yeah. Well,
but
the NSX is like a hybrid, right?
it is, but
But they're
it's
using
like,
electric motors in there.
yeah, the numbers aren't that impressive. I mean, it's under 3 seconds probably, but for the pricing of
Not
that
that
car,
impressive. Under 3 seconds. Not that.
yeah, but so is the C8. I mean, for like half the money.
Yeah,
So
true.
the C8's probably faster than the NSX. So
Uh,
why does it make sense? Doesn't make sense.
I don't know, man. I don't know
We'll
about
see.
that.
But anyway, you're gonna probably end up ordering a Tesla Model 3 Performance too, huh?
Yeah, but just really quick back to that cost, right? So
Yeah.
when we would look at a car, we're typically talking anywhere from 30 to 45, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Now, like within a year or like over a year's time, now it's like, okay, we're looking at cars that are 60, 75,000.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's all the supply chain shortages that we're seeing in the Wi-Fi industry too, right? So
Yeah,
they're
it's
they're
crazy though.
they're running out of raw materials, chips or whatever, and the whole dealership process is just like, exasperating that by they're jacking their prices as much as they can, right?
Well,
So
that's changing as well, right?
yeah,
That whole process is
yeah.
changing
So
as well.
that's a reason why I'd go with Tesla or Rivian because there's no dealerships. You just order with the app online, and the thing shows up at your house. Like that, I don't ever want to talk to a dealership again other than maybe my Corvette guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I heard that there are other manufacturers out there that are changing that process as well.
Mm-hmm. That
In
works
fact, I
though.
think GM was one of them. That article I read about GM and Honda working together, their GM was thinking about changing that process a little bit. I don't to what extent I don't know,
Yeah.
but
I mean, the
so
dealer they just want to wet their beaks as much as possible and make they're marking up Hyundais and everything right now, so it's like
well, the Hyundai corporate headquarters is right down the street.
yeah,
I get to see all those all the new electric cars, the EVs.
yeah,
Um, Yeah, so they're right down the street.
Ionic 5, yeah, yeah. A couple
Yeah,
of my neighbors,
that one actually looks pretty interesting. I
yeah,
mean, I don't think I'd go out and buy it, but it looks interesting, you know?
yeah. I mean that Tucson plug-in hybrid. A couple of my neighbors bought that one too, and I'm sure they overpaid for
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then you know, you were talking about Rivian. I've seen, yeah, I was telling you, I see probably a Rivian every day,
it. Yeah,
at least one. They're pretty cool looking.
it is pretty cool. I mean, I need one truck at least for a tow vehicle, but other than that, I don't like trucks.
Wait,
Um,
is that truck for you?
no, it's a Randy, but I need to have some sort of tow vehicle around, and I think that'll do the job.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, so let's
Yeah,
talk about Wi-Fi.
you know, it's only 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah, no, this one's only 600, the one that I ordered.
Oh, you got the cheap one. Oh, that's
Yeah, I
right.
had to get the cheap one. I'm not gonna. I only need two motors. I don't need four motors.
Without saying the price, doesn't the cheap one cost more than your Corvette?
Yeah, yeah, it does, but it qualifies for the rebate, so
Yeah.
it brings it down probably under.
What's the 0 to 60 for the Rivian?
Well, it's 4 seconds for the dual motor and 3 seconds for the quad motor.
Yeah.
So you need to get the quad motor.
Ridiculous. So
Yeah.
fast.
And it's faster than the Model 3 Performance from like 60 to 100. Like they're dead
60.
even to 60. You know, they both
Yeah.
do it in about 3 seconds, but then they juiced up the Rivian so it'll get to 100 faster, but then top speed of the Rivian's like 115 miles an hour and it stops. And then the
Oh,
Tesla
yeah.
will fly by.
Oh yeah, I did see that review. The Hummer and the Rivian race and the Rivian
Yeah.
kicked but
Yeah, the Hummer's even slower. It stops at like 100, I think, or something like that.
yeah, 110.
110, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. The Hummer is not that impressive to me. It's just like big in your face, like
Yeah.
too heavy, too big.
Yeah.
But some guys like
Oh, there's
that.
guys that will buy it.
Yeah,
Some
people
have-
will buy the heck out of that for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so you wanted to talk about the new Wi-Fi 6E access point, right? Like you finally got.
Yeah,
those
so
in
I
your hand.
just got beta units of the ECW336, which is our tri-band access point.
Yeah.
It's going to operate, you know, it's Wi-Fi 6E, so it's going to operate on 2.4, 5 gigahertz, and 6 gigahertz. One of the tests we're going to run is we're very interested in seeing what the meshing would look like.
Yeah.
You're meshing from a 4x4 to another 4x4, so that's going to be. I think the speeds on that's going to be pretty ridiculous. Like if you
Yeah.
you mesh you back on that, so we'll see what that looks like. But yeah, we just got some. You're going to get one. I have probably about 5 beta users. 2 are going down to Latin America. 3 are staying here, so we'll do some testing here with it. So I just got those. I actually got those a couple days ago, but I just got them out of our shipping yesterday. So
Nice.
that's going to be pretty interesting. You can already see hints of Wi-Fi 6E in the cloud interface.
Yep.
So you know you can program SSIDs and things like that. There's a couple other items that need to be added. You know, just looking at it and just kind of messing around with the AP, but. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. This laptop has 6E, so I'll see what that wireless link looks like and like testing wise.
Yeah, we have the same adapter in our laptops, and then
Mhm.
maybe I'll get a Samsung phone for testing too, like a what is it, S21? Do you guys have one yet?
Yeah, we do. Our engineering department has it. I think they have this particular card too. So we talked about it a couple podcasts ago, but like. They've tested that. They've tested the Intel, the Samsung, and then they put our APs in. I don't know if I should say this, but they put our APs in like a client bridge mode.
Mm.
So one of the APs programmed as a client bridge in a 4x4 to a 4x4. The speed is ridiculously fast.
Right. So
I want
that's
to say 3. I could be wrong. I think it was like 3 gig.
wow. And that thing does have a 5 gigabit port on it, right?
It does, yeah.
It does. Wow.
Yeah.
So,
It could have been 2. Regardless, I'm talking about
it's
over
really
1
fast.
gigabit is ridiculous. So for me to even mention 2 gig, 3 gig is really ridiculous. So
yeah.
So the speed testing, we'll see how it is. I'm not saying it will be that, but just very interesting to see.
Yeah, so it's gonna be fast. That 4x4, that's a reason to get it because, it's gonna be, one, it's gonna give you better range at the 6 gigahertz because it's using all those streams. Even if your laptop is only 2x2 or your phone's 2x2, it's still gonna use all those radio chains to get the best signal, bounce it around, get the best signal, right?
Yeah, did you say range?
Yeah, so especially because we don't really know like 6 gigahertz how far it's going to travel, right? So, you definitely probably want to have the 4x4 to increase range.
Yeah.
Because most of the client device is only going to be 2x2, but you'll get extended range from having a 4x4 and not having like a cheaper 2x2 6E access point that maybe some bargain Wi-Fi companies are going to try to implement.
Yeah, the price disruptive
Yeah,
one.
yeah. So, I think if you're gonna go to 6E, you might as well go with 4x4 and make sure you're gonna get the full benefit out of it.
100%. Especially, and I'm pretty, when somebody asks me about meshing, I'm like, don't mesh.
Don't
It's
mesh,
the worst
yeah.
thing you could do. But I will be interested in see what you can do on the meshing side of this thing. So
Yeah, because you'll be using like a new clean spectrum, right? So at least in the beginning,
for a little while.
So I still call it a temporary situation, but for those type of temporary setups, we have a lot of guys that do that kind of thing. They'll probably be able to get really good meshing speeds, at least until that frequency band is like flooded, which I don't know how soon that would happen, but.
Yeah, I mean, well, we already know it's going to be the client devices, right? That's going to do it. But yeah, so we'll start beta test here, and you'll beta test, and then we have multiple people beta testing. So I'm pretty excited about that. See what the outcome is. I already onboarded like 3 of the access points into cloud. That was, I made a post on it. It literally took like 3 minutes to do it. It's like super easy to do.
Yep.
And the management side of it.
And someone asked about onboarding the ECW230S, the security access point with the spectrum analyzer.
Yeah, somebody asked me, is it difficult to implement the security AP or the, it's the ECW230S and 220S.
Yeah.
Which are quote unquote like security APs because it has whips and widths on that. Mm-hmm. It's like installing another AP, really. It's no more difficult than doing one of them. But he might be referencing like implementing the security side of things.
Yeah.
It's really setting up the allow list or the block list.
Right.
On the SSIDs, right?
Yeah. So there's some configuration depending on how you want to. Use the rogue access point detection, things like that, right? But as far as like using it, the spectrum analyzer, using it to troubleshoot, it's up and running, right away. I've already had customers using it to troubleshoot problems without any other configuration.
Yeah, he was more referencing like the security side, but the the spectrum analyzer. I mean, it's running, and you can scan the environment when you on demand, really, when you want to.
Yep.
The really cool thing is like when you do the spectrum analyzer, you're running it in a specific area because the AP is in a specific area, so you're running in that area. So for troubleshooting purposes, it's it's a really I would say in some situations a must have. But like when you use AirGuard, which is our whips widths security system, you're basically putting in rogue SSIDs that you're trying to protect yourself from, right?
Yep. So that you would configure it. I don't have a screenshot of that right now, but yeah.
No worries. You're basically like in our situations, since we're in our corporate headquarters. Our SSIDs are typically ingenious something, right?
Yeah.
So in my SSID, my rogue SSID filter, I'm going to add anything that has ingenious, anything other than my access points that are broadcasting maybe ingenious. I really need to look at, and I want the system to mark it and alert me of it, so I don't have somebody coming in, driving in, and broadcasting an ingenious SSID, and maybe they call it ingenious free Wi-Fi, for
Yeah.
example, and an employee connects to that SSID. I want to make sure that does not happen. So I will put in like anything that has the word ingenious in it. I want to be aware of, so I can further
Exactly.
test
So
or dive
if it
into it.
sees something pop up either on the wire locally or in the air with that SSID, it's going to tell
Yeah,
you. And if anything's on the wire that's not, it doesn't know about, like if it's not an ingenious cloud AP, it's going to flag that too, right? Like if somebody just comes and plugs in a ruckus or something else in there.
well, it's really going to be on the broadcast side
Okay.
more than anything, because the one of the big issues is that one of the issues is people plugging into the wired, into your wired
Mm-hmm.
network, but they're typically doing it to broadcast an SSID, to maybe increase the range of your Wi-Fi signal.
Yeah.
And they come in with like a off-the-shelf router from Best Buy or something like that, or off Amazon or whatever, and they plug that in, and they put in this same SSID so they can link to it with no security or the same security, but it's not supposed to be on your network. It will be identified as a rogue.
Right.
So it's really looking. I think I could be wrong, but it's really looking more on
The wireless side.
the wireless side.
I
Yeah.
think it did flag my wired APs also, though, automatically without me doing anything. So I'll look at that. But it's also good as far as where to use these security access points, like the 230S and the 220S. If you have a client site that's like far away, you don't want to have to, drive out there. Like you set it up, you want to just like kind of forget about it. But it's like a high end client, right? That they may be challenging. I would put one out there because it gives you like a remote, like you said, troubleshooting tool, a spectrum analyzer. You can see what's going on remotely without going out there and possibly change some channel selection
Oh yeah.
to fix the problem. And I've already seen that working, like with some of the initial ones we've sold.
Yep.
So, all right. So another thing I wanted to talk about was the WPA2, WPA3. I noticed that when we were looking at Wi-Fi 6E, that it requires WPA3. There's no other option, but that makes
Yeah.
sense, right? Because all Wi-Fi 6E devices will obviously support WPA3.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You're talking about the latest and greatest in tech,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
yeah, you want those devices will come out with WPA3.
Right. So there is no legacy Wi-Fi 6E, so you don't have to worry about supporting WPA2 or any older encryption standards, right? But with the existing devices, now they could be only support WPA2, like a lot of Internet of Things devices, printers, things like that, older devices, game consoles, like a lot of these may not support WPA3. So there is an option in the Ingenious Cloud to use the mix mode, WPA2 or WPA3.
Yep.
So I put a screenshot of that up. So basically, when you select that, if the device doesn't support WPA3, it'll let it connect with the same passphrase as WPA2, right? Now, there's some security issues with WPA2. I guess it can be cracked fairly easily. I wouldn't say fairly easy, but it can be
Yeah, I don't
cracked.
think it's easily.
So this is one way to do it. I mean, I think this is okay. But if you did have like a bunch of legacy devices, like say Internet of Things devices that support WPA2, you could create an entire separate SSID for those, put it on a separate VLAN, and use WPA2 for that, right?
Yeah, I mean we've ran into that. We've run into that a lot where yeah, their devices don't support it, so they either take it down to WPA2 or they create another SSID like you're saying and have them on there. The same is true. I don't think it's as true as it used to be, but the same thing with 11AX. There are some devices, older devices, that didn't support even 11AX.
Right.
So they had to be on a different,
Right.
different access point altogether.
Right, because you have that option. Like sometimes if if 11AX is enabled on like say 2.4 gigahertz, those older, like really small like Internet of Things devices can't connect, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you can just disable 11AX basically on those on particular SSIDs.
Yeah, for sure. So it's nice that you have that mix mode. I enabled it; it wasn't a problem. And also, I noticed on Windows 11 that when I connected for the first time to the WPA3 network, it put up a message saying you're connected at the most secure protocol possible. So Windows 11 will tell you that right away. It didn't seem to. The iOS iPhones, they don't tell you. There's no way to really detect other way than looking in the logs, on the access point logs, right, to see like what kind of encryption it connected at.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly.
But that mixed option's there if you need to use it, or you could, like we said, create another SSID. All right, anything else you want to talk about, Brian?
No, I have some initial spec info on our gateway, so that's pretty exciting. So that will be coming out. I wouldn't say soon, but it's on its way. So I know a lot of people ask us about the gateway when it's coming. So that's still, it's on its way. The spec is looking really great. The one thing I would mention is if you're interested in multi-gig access points, we have promotion running on multi-gig access, or not access points. What am I saying? I'm thinking about Wi-Fi 6E.
Yeah.
We have a promotion on multi-gig switches. So we have a new 48 port, new 24 port. We also have two 8 port and two 10 gigabit switches,
which also support multi-gig. Yeah.
What's that?
The 10 gigabit also supports 2.5 and 5, so it's multi-gig.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
And so there's promotions running on those too. So I think, Jeff, you have availability and you're ready to ship whenever. So
I am. Yeah. So I'll be sending out that promotion this week. If anyone's interested, just ask me. I'll send you out a quote with the promotion pricing for those multi-gig switches.
Yep. And we also created a kit. A kit that includes 5 ECW336 access points and a 2512 multi-gigabit 8-port switch. Has plenty of power to power up those 5 access points. Mm-hmm. So that kit is now available out there. You're basically getting the switch for free.
Yeah.
So when you buy the 5 APs, you're getting the switch for free. So that's another offer that's kind of going on out there. I think that covers everything I wanted to talk about.
Okay, good. So we'll keep testing those ECW336 Wi-Fi 6E access points, and next week we'll talk about hopefully what kind of results we got on them. Maybe. All right, remember to like and subscribe for more help with Wi-Fi and tech products.